Let me read from the Wall Street Journal, because these days, if you want honest reporting about something in Canada, you can't really trust Canadian media because they're all in on the payroll of Justin Trudeau, or are about to be with his $595 million slush fund. So this was printed on the Yahoo Finance website, but as you can see, it was written by the Wall Street Journal. Headline: General Motors expected to shut down operations in Oshawa, Ontario. Now, the story says that GM is cutting costs in a lot of places, including in the US. But let me read to you a line that I haven't seen in the CBC or CTV or any other Trudeau media outlet. Canada's auto industry, which is concentrated in southern Ontario, has shrunk over the past decade as more factories move to the southern US and Mexico, where labor costs are cheaper. Canadian policymakers had hoped the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, reached in late September with provisions requiring more work be done by higher wage workers, would help the domestic industry. Today, Canada is among the most expensive countries in the world to build cars and the highest cost market for car assembly in the North American Free Trade Zone. Here's what Buzz Hargrove, a past president of the Canadian Auto Workers, had to say. He lived and breathed auto workers for years. He didn't hang out quite as much flying around on Justin Trudeau's private jets in his day, the Prime Minister of his day. Here's what Buzz Hargrove said in The Sun today. He said, former Canadian Auto Workers head Buzz Hargrove told The Sun news of the closure left him reeling. "I'm shocked," he said. "It seems like Trump's strategy is working beyond belief." Exactly, and who do you think is going to get better? Do you think it's going to get better or worse when Justin Trudeau's national carbon tax kicks in? We're talking about costs of production here, aren't we? Whereas Donald Trump is actually cutting taxes. And he says, if anything, he's going to cut taxes more and reduce red tape more for the auto industry. Remember, he's been talking about getting rid of the extremely expensive fuel efficiency standards that's forced on Detroit. Now, this is happening on Justin Trudeau's watch. It seems to happen a lot with him. Here's a story just 2 weeks ago about Bombardier, the company that has received literally billions of dollars in bailouts from Canadian taxpayers. Let me quote from this story in The Star. Bombardier said about 3,000 jobs will be cut in Canada, with the majority of those in Bombardier's home province of Quebec and 500 in Ontario. Like Bombardier, GM was the recipient of billions of dollars in taxpayer largesse. Actually, GM got, and the auto sector in general, got far more than Bombardier. And in fairness, Stephen Harper was part of that decision a decade ago as part of the massive auto bailout done in conjunction with Barack Obama and the province of Ontario. So a lot of people were involved in some bailouts. Here's an article from a few months ago, though. This is from June. Nearly $14 billion shoveled into the auto industry, and much of it has just quietly been written off by the Liberals. Here, let me read. Ready? The Liberal government appears to have written off a taxpayer loan to the auto industry in March, but is refusing to say how much the loan was for or to provide any other details. Ottawa has been carrying large stagnant loans to the auto sector on its books, and repayments have been past due since at least 2010. Why? I mean, a child is a better negotiator than that, much better. If you've ever had a child try to haggle with you to stay up a little bit later, kids can be pretty good negotiators. I say we put 8-year-olds in charge of our Canadian business negotiations, whether it's NAFTA or Bombardier or General Motors. I really don't know how an 8-year-old could make it worse than Trudeau has. That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show, weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every day I do a monologue, interview a guest, and read my fan mail and my hate mail. To subscribe, go to therebel.media/shows.